take two, guys. I'll just wait a few moments to see who pops on. Technical difficulties are going to be the just killer of me. If you are on, let me know you're here. Say hi so I know who's on. So tonight's topic is about stress and overwhelm. And so as you know, I put off this talk from last night because I was not feeling great. So I'm feeling much better today. I've had some rest, had a nice bath last night, took myself off to a massage today. And yeah, I'm feeling really replenished. So if you are on, I would love for you to say hi. And I would love to know whether you are currently using oils, especially to support you with any stress, because I know I am. Okay, so what I thought we would do, I've actually had a clean up today at home. My desk was looking like a bomb hit it, so I'm a bit more organised. So I've got my oils, my Modern Essentials book, my Emotions book, got more oils, and so we're ready to rock and roll. So I'm going to keep this quite quick tonight. The last few have gone for an hour, which is too long for you guys to log on and listen to. So I'm just going to kind of run through the oils quickly, and then I'll pop some information below as well. And if people have any questions at the end, we can talk about those. If people want some more information, you can just shoot me a PM or an email and I can get in touch with you. So the very first oil that I would recommend for anyone who is experiencing stress, overwhelm, that kind of really, I don't know about you guys, but when I get stressed, I get hot, and you feel like a bit restricted around your neck. Well, that's how I feel anyway. And I always get a bit flushed, and I often you just, like, your mind is doing this, right? And your body just feels like it's doing this. Everything is just a reaction. And so the really important thing with stress is to acknowledge that it's a hormonal response. And so we have what's called the fight, flight, or freeze. And quite often how we respond is in flight mode. And so our, adrenal glands create these beautiful hormones in our body, and we end up with cortisol running around, which is not healthy either. And so we have to be really mindful of our stress levels, and we have to, just going to share this quickly. We have to be really mindful of that trigger and those feelings. So for me, I know when I am not looking after myself very well, if I particularly haven't had enough sleep, but I know back prior to having my little boy, when I was at work, one of the first kind of signs I would see as an external sign on my body was I would get cuts in my lips. And so vitamin B is really good for stress outside of oils. But I used to always get these cuts in my lips. And I remember a manager saying to me one time, one, that's vitamin B, but two, that's a really classic sign of stress. And it's funny because I then started to pay attention to that, and still now to this day, when I start to get a bit of a cut inside of my lip, one, I pop some vitamin B, but two, I really up to self-care. So I make sure I have baths, I make sure I have some downtime, I do things for me, and I make sure I don't chock-a-block my time full. And so it's really important for you in wanting to manage your stress that you know what your stress response is and you know what your stress signs are, so that when you are starting to feel stressed, that you can acknowledge it then, and that you, rather than letting it go to the kind of end. And so, for example, this week I didn't do that. You know, I work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so I've had the luxury up until the last month of, you know, having the time that I didn't have to go to work. Obviously, having a little baby, it's kind of stressful all the time. But this week I had to go to work, right? And as much as I felt like I would have liked to have just stayed home and spent the day in bed, because I needed some regrouping and some rebooting, I couldn't, and I didn't feel like I could take a day off, which is silly because I probably should have. So instead, what I did last night, because that was the end of my kind of working week, I just stopped. I turned my phone off, had a long bath. Hey, Alex. I had a bit of a cry, you know, just kind of everything was happening. And I felt so much better this morning. And my husband and my little boy and I went out and had a really nice breakfast in the sun this morning. I had a massage at lunchtime, and then I had a really beautiful chat to one of my mentors. And I feel super replenished today. My cup is back being full, ready to take on the rest of the week. So some really beautiful oils to help you when you are in that really early phase, when you are identifying that you're feeling stressed. There's a number of them, and obviously keep using them, and particularly if you don't even recognize that you're kind of stressed and things are starting to kind of get up there. I know when I've had no sleep, when you've got sick little ones, sick partners, when you're working like a dog. Don't know what happened, guys. I just got a little thing pop up saying that my internet connection was crapola, which is crazy because I'm sitting right next to the NBN thingy. Anyway, so let's jump in. Now, for those of you who joined after I started, what I was saying was I am just going to run through these. I'm not going to kind of chatter along for an hour tonight because it's too much. So, Lavender Peace. Lavender Peace is our beautiful restful blend. And so this is probably my number one for supporting you with your stress. And so this beautiful blend obviously has lavender, has a hint of vanilla. It's got ylang ylang marjoram, which is our product of the month this month, guys. It's got Hawaiian sandalwood, cedarwood, lavender, hoewood, Roman chamomile, and vetiver. So it's got some really beautiful tree extracts, and so it's really grounding and centering, and it kind of brings you down from that heady response. And the lavender is really calming and soothing, as is the Roman chamomile, ylang ylang marjoram. It's really beautiful. So when you're feeling stressed, inhaling is the fastest way to get straight up to your brain and to really just bring it down a notch. So popping a drop in your hand, I'll show you how I do it. I just pop a drop in my hand. This is like your own personal diffuser, guys. So you rub your palms together, not your whole hands, because you don't want it all over your fingers. Just cup your hands over your nose. And while you're watching me, I encourage you to sit and take some deep breaths. Beautiful. I feel relaxed already. I use this one a lot to sleep, guys. So that's really beautiful to help with stress. Obviously, lavender on its own, lavender is really calming and soothing. Now, what I want to do is read to you from Emotions and Essential Oils. Hey, Shell. So the Restful Blend, which is Lavender Peace, is the oil of tranquility. So the Restful Blend has a powerful effect on the mind and the heart. It is a uniquely calming blend that invites individuals to relinquish feelings of stress, anxiousness, and being overwhelmed. Tick, tick, tick. The Restful Blend can support those who struggle with an overactive mind and the inability to unwind. From feelings of responsibility to feelings of worry, this blend will assist in quieting the mind and releasing agitation and inviting calm. Now, I don't know about you, but I spend a lot of time in my head sometimes. So when you over-identify with responsibilities or fears, these create emotional stresses that do not support proper rest, relaxation, and rejuvenation. Driven by constant pressures, perceived burdens, individual struggles to keep up with the demands of our lives, this blend powerfully addresses the underlying states that are often the cause of restlessness, stress, and imbalance. So if you are laying in bed at night, and this was me last night, when you are laying in bed at night and your mind is quiet, but you are restless, and so your body wants to move a lot, and you keep flipping and flopping and turning around and fluffing your pillow and flipping your pillow over, this is what you pop on your pillow. So I pop a drop on each corner of my pillow so that regardless of which way my face moves, I get to inhale it. Sometimes I pop a drop on I'm in my pajamas, guys. It's 7 o'clock, 7:55 rather. I often pop a drop on my shirt so that regardless of where I am, I can inhale the beautiful fumes all night. And it promotes deep rest. So when I started using these oils, and particularly when I started using Lavender Peace, particularly getting up in the night. So for those of you that are mums, I still get up at least 2 times most nights to my little boy. But what I find is that when I am asleep, 1, I can get to sleep quicker. And 2, when I am asleep, I feel like it's a deeper sleep while I am asleep, even though it might be for shorter periods of time. And so for me, this definitely promotes that deep restorative sleep, which is what you want, which helps support your stress levels. Okay? Now, I'm just going to flick. I've highlighted some pages here that I wanted to chat. Hello, lovely. We were just talking about Lavender Peace, so make sure you flick back and watch that. And these are really beautiful for kids as well, guys. So whether it's, particularly of an afternoon after school, coming home from daycare, Lavender Peace and another really beautiful oil is Balance. They're great to diffuse in those afternoons just to bring everyone down. Especially when kids come home and they're like, the whole world's on their shoulders. Now, the other, and I talk about this oil a lot, is Balance. So Balance is our grounding blend. I feel a little bit like Lavender Peace is a mix between lavender and Balance together. But Lavender Peace has some really beautiful, ylang ylang, vanilla. And so Balance is our grounding blend, so it's very earthy. It's a very masculine oil, I feel, because it's so earthy and grounding. It's kind of a bit like a man's cologne. But when I inhale this, it really kind of makes me feel like my feet are bare, like they're firmly on the ground, on the grass. And so this is really good, particularly when you're really getting that kind of hot under the collar, you know, kind of feeling a bit claustrophobic. It's really good, again, to pop a drop in your hand and inhale. And now I keep little samples in my handbag, in one of these little things. So I have these full of my favourite blends. Lavender, Peace and Balance are definitely in there. And so, you know, wherever I am, and I have a bunch of these on my desk at work. I have a bunch of them on my desk here, but I've got my other oils. So I can just pop a drop in my hand and inhale as I need to. So that's another really beautiful oil. My favourite way to use Balance is to aromatically dress myself. And now if I've had not a fabulous night's sleep, and I can tell you this happens when I don't use my oils. So if I get into bed and my oils are all scattered around the house, I need to get a collection just in my bedroom. I wake up the next morning and I feel like I've not had that deep restorative sleep. And so I often massage Balance over my body, particularly over my chest and my neck and my shoulders and my arms. And all day that kind of just resonates through my body. It's really lovely to kind of go from your toes and upwards. But if that's all you can manage, then that's perfectly fine. Now, another really beautiful oil is grapefruit. Now, grapefruit is a beautiful citrus oil. And so grapefruit is one of my favourite oils. And so it's very uplifting, but it's calming at the same time. And so I actually love wearing Balance with grapefruit. Alex, no, I always use a carrier oil. Or sometimes I have an organic like coconut body moisturizer. So sometimes I put a few drops and I use moisturizer, but I normally use fractionated coconut oil, or occasionally something else, but normally it's fractionated coconut oil. I always massage with something, so with a cream or with a carrier oil. And it says apparently, yes, and it does. It absolutely does help those two hemispheres kind of recenter. It's amazing. These, you know, the beauty about these oils, guys, is that they are a therapeutic grade. And so it's not just about smelling the beautiful aroma. Like, it's not just about smelling the grapefruit smell. You know, you're getting those therapeutic benefits depending on what the oil is that you are inhaling or applying. So grapefruit is actually the oil of kind of honouring your body. It's a really beautiful oil around any body issues, but it's a beautiful oil to use with stress, particularly if you want to combine with lavender. And so you might want to have like a bath with lavender and grapefruit with some Epsom salts. You might want to just kind of use this as a bit of a perfume. You might want to apply topically on, you know, the back of your neck, up your spine. You might just want to pop some drops in your hand and just kind of inhale as need be. And sometimes that's a really, you know, that's kind of the quickest way when you're feeling like you're going to explode, to just pop some drops and just bring yourself down. And I often sit at my desk here when I'm, you know, I don't know, getting angry about something. And I look to my left and I go, right, what oils can I, you know, and I just pop a drop in my hand and inhale, and within 3 seconds I'm just like, you know, it's beautiful. Now, and look, you know, the beautiful thing is that each person you talk to will suggest different things, and the really beautiful thing about oils is that what works for you won't necessarily work for me. And so the reason I'm giving you kind of a number of different oils and suggesting a number of different oils is, one, so that you can see what you've got at home. And that's always the first way to start. You know, if I look at something in my book and I'm like, oh, I don't have those oils, I'm kind of up shit creek, right? But I've normally got one. I've normally got one or two that I can try, and so I'll start with one, and then I might start with a different one. I might mix them, and I'll just kind of play around until I find the right combination. And so lavender, some people like, some people don't. Lavender Peace, because it's got those woody oils and vanilla in there. It's quite a sweet, woody lavender aroma. Whereas Balance is very woody, very earthy. You know, so it will affect your senses and affect your body in different ways. Now, another really beautiful oil is Easy Air. And so Easy Air is our oil of breath. So it's our respiratory blend. So I want to read you a little bit about that. And so our respiratory blend addresses the inability to let go of grief and pain. If you are struggling to breathe and feel suffocated, so your lungs are an air passage, and if they become if they become constricted, preventing air and emotions from releasing. So this beautiful oil, because it opens up your airways, it helps to promote deep breathing. And so what do we do when we are stressed? We often shallow breathe, right? And so it's it's like when you're running. You know, when you're running and you're running away from a tiger or a kidnapper, that's fine. You want to run full pelt and you want to just shallow breathe because you're in your fight or flight, and that's totally fine. But when we're going about our day, we don't want to be walking around going, all right, I'm going to cook dinner, and yeah, I've got to pick my son up from his cot, and yeah, I'm going to call my friend. That's not how we want to go about our days, because we are in that cortisol level that is just floating around our body. We actually want to get down into some nice deep belly breaths. And so Easy Air is a really beautiful oil to use because it really encourages that deep breathing, opens up your sinus, opens up your lungs, and encourages that really deep, open breathing, which will calm you down, bring you out of that stress, fight or flight response. So this is another really beautiful, I keep this on my desk at work for that exact reason. One, because I've always got the sniffles, but two, because it helps me breathe. And so I often kind of just apply it to my nose and take some really big, deep breaths. And so that's a nice one. It's like eucalyptus and peppermint and camphor, tea tree, you know, those sorts of oils. So obviously it's a really beautiful oil to use over winter. But when we're talking about stress, it's a great one to help with that deep breathing and just kind of, you know, using your breaths to regulate your emotions and your responses. So that's another great one. Now, In Tune, which is actually our focus blend. And so not to be confused with lemon, which is the oil of focus. So In Tune, this lighting is not fabulous, is a beautiful proprietary blend of Indian sandalwood, patchouli, frankincense, lime, ylang ylang, Roman chamomile, Hawaiian sandalwood, and yes, no, that's all. And so this is a really beautiful one, beautiful oil to use. I use it a lot to kind of keep the brain functioning, to get out of that, to bring me kind of into the present moment. From an emotional response, this is what is really interesting. Had a little card here. So Focus Blend is the oil of presence. And so this beautiful blend calms the mind, facilitating inner peace. Lemon, which is the oil of focus, activates the mind. This one quietens and grounds the mind and the mental forces. So it's especially beneficial to those with a short attention span. My husband. It encourages individuals to remain present with the task at hand to complete a project, goal or activity before moving on to the next. So I don't know if you're one of those people that kind of has 5 things going. That's actually sometimes what can create our stress, right? And so this is really beautiful. I apply this to the back of my neck. I apply up my spine every morning before I go to work. And generally if I'm at home and I'm in kind of full work mode, if I'm writing newsletters and sending my, email templates and, writing blog posts and updating my website, that sort of stuff, I will apply this. And so this beautiful blend is supportive to individuals who become lost in thought, who rapidly jump from one idea or activity to the next, and for those who lose themselves in daydreams and fantasy. So it gently guides the soul into full awareness of the physical body and physical surroundings. It encourages individuals to live in the here and now and promotes a meditative state. Its stability and grounding energy supports a healthy connection between the body and mind. It's beautiful, beautiful, right? Now this is a pure oil, so this comes in a roller. It's a pure oil. And so some people use it straight. I have diluted it because it's got a very strong aroma. And so I found that diluting it bed no difference in terms of the therapeutic benefits and properties. And obviously you get 2 rollers. You could even span it across 3. And so it lasts extra long. And that's definitely one of my favourites. Now, we also have a really beautiful, this is called past tense. Can't even see that. It's another really beautiful roll-up blend, pure oil as well. Again, I've diluted this one. So this is our relaxation blend. So I use this a lot and I apply it to my neck and I apply it to the tops of my shoulders to really drop the shoulders back and to really let go of that tension that we carry. I'm actually feeling no tension because I had a beautiful massage today. But some days it's just like you just carry, you're kind of walking around like this, right? And so this oil for me, I literally apply it and I can just feel the tension melt away. Just like a bit of a stretch, massage it in, which is, again, that's why it's really nice to dilute this. Otherwise you can pop a little bit on your hand, add some fractionated coconut oil and massage in. It's again a very strong aroma. And so that's another really beautiful oil for supporting you with your stress, to de-stress. And another one of my favourite oils, and probably the last one I'll talk about, I think, is Elevation. This is our joyful blend. So this will help you get out of a funk. It will support you to lift your mood, to see the brighter things in life. So this is a really nice one to wear as perfume. And so this is a beautiful blend of, if I can see it, Melissa. A whole bunch of names that I can't even pronounce. That's really helpful, isn't it? I'm going to look it up. And so lavender, tangerine, elmi, lemon myrtle, melissa, ylang ylang. So again, some really beautiful oils in there. And so the joyful blend will evoke happiness. It's a powerful mood stabilizing oil. Soothe the heart and balance emotions. It can help you let go of lower energy vibrations. Now, we are all about the high energetic vibrations. I don't know if any of you follow the beautiful Alice Nichols from The Whole Daily. She is one of my beautiful oily mentors. She put up a beautiful post yesterday maybe about the vibration of some of these essential oils and the vibration of the human brain. And naturally, oils like rose and jasmine are the highest vibrational frequency. No surprises there because they are, you know, the oil of love, trust. And something like frankincense is right up there. It's my dog wanting to get out. And so it's really beautiful to kind of explore those sorts of things in terms of what vibration and what frequency you are operating at. And so it supports relaxation, happiness, humour, playfulness, brightness, cheerfulness, and fun. So sometimes when we're feeling a little bit stressed and overwhelmed, that's just what we need. We need a bit of laughter. Okay? If you have any questions, I would love to hear from you. I think I have answered. I'm just going to go back and check. Answered Anna's, answered Alex's. Yep. So lavender piece, lavender on its own, beautiful balance, grapefruit with lavender, our in tune focus blend and past tense relaxation blend, and beautiful elevation. So obviously there are various ways, guys, to use essential oils. You can inhale, as we talked about. You can pop them in a diffuser. And because these are so pure and potent, you would only need a couple of drops. You can obviously mix with some carrier oil and apply to your skin. So either in a massage, over your neck, over your thyroid, over your heart, over your, the back here. Now, if you had a headache, so like a stress headache, peppermint and lavender together is really beautiful. And mix that together, and I always just rub it on my temples and the back of my neck. You can make up your own roller blends with some carrier oil and apply them that way. And rosemary and lavender are really good for emotional headaches, hormonal headaches. Yeah, so if people have any questions or want to chat, I'm more than happy to chat to people. And I'd love to hear from you. So please pop anything below in the comments and I can come back in and respond to you. Or please feel free to send me a private message and we can arrange to have a phone call or a Skype date or a coffee if you're in town. I would love to hear from you. Thanks for listening, guys. Talk later.